Greetings everyone, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, here to bring you another retro review from past seasons of The Loud House. In today's video, we take a look at one of those season 4 episodes that gave us something good, but it needed something more. Today's episode is titled, Washed Up. First we'll discuss the plot, and then my thoughts and critiques with my final score. So, just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip that started on a Saturday aboard a ship of flips. No one was a mighty sailing man, but all were brave and sure. 11 castaways set sail that day for a 3-hour tour, okay? A 3-hour tour. Whirlpool! Then the water started getting rough, the tiny ship was tossed. If it wasn't for the warning from the littlest one, the family would have been lost, okay? The family would have been lost. The ship set ground on the shore of some uncharted desert isle, with Lincoln Loud and Luna 2, the patriarch, and his wife. The pageant queen, a genius, and the other girls are all here on Lincoln's Isle. Okay, having gotten the obvious joke out of the way, let's continue. The family tried to make the most of living on the island for the time being, but after their camp is destroyed and missing the Coast Guard, they pull themselves together to create a raft and are eventually rescued by Flip, of all people. The episode ends with the Louds headed for home and Lily being the only one to catch a glimpse of Plessy, the mysterious lake monster Lincoln was trying to find. Oh well, his loss. Well, that concludes the plot of the episode, so now we come to my thoughts and critiques. As far as my headcanon goes, this is the official premiere to season 4. Before you start coming after me, let me try to explain. I don't mean any disrespect towards Friended or any of the Casa Grande episodes that preceded Washed Up. It's just that when the first 9 episodes of the season have nothing to do with the main Loud House characters, and they're presented more like spin-off episodes than those of the main series, you start to consider those first few episodes as part of an independent miniseries that will lead into the spin-off. I know they're officially considered Loud House episodes, but I just don't see it that way. So, in my book, with a total of 41 episodes, Season 4 is the shortest Loud House season to date, and it officially begins with Washed Up. Okay, now that I got that out of the way, let's get on with the actual review. As per the usual, it never fails to amaze me how often anybody will take anything from Flip, given the kind of cheapskate character he's been known to be throughout the series. From engine problems to fake painted oars, you would think by some point somebody would actually check out what this guy is offering before putting down any sort of payment. But hey, Lana does low-key threaten Flip with a lawsuit since his horribly maintained boat sank and nearly killed everyone on board. If that's all it takes to waiver a late fee after only tracking down missing persons just to demand the money they owe, you start to wonder if Flip ever rented a boat to other people in the past. Maybe there are parts of his life that are better left unspoken. Anyway, the episode played out like any other typical show would present the traditional plot of being stranded on a deserted island. The family explore the island for anything they can use to make the best of a bad situation while waiting to be rescued. From trying to modernize the island from building a hut to watching what they consider television, they did what they could to entertain themselves so as to keep away any thoughts of giving up hope. The phrase they chant throughout the episode, "Louds never quit," may seem like a cheesy thing to say over and over, but I have to give a lot of props to the kids for sticking by it more than the parents originally did. The parents reveal they only said that phrase because they thought they were teaching them a good lesson, but then they say sometimes the universe just has it out for them. To think, they only admitted that because they thought the Coast Guard wouldn't be back for another 8 months. The kids were just as upset about that very real probability, but they took those words of "Louds never quit" to heart, and they weren't about to give up so easily. Kinda shows who was more emotionally stable the entire time, now doesn't it? Knowing how fast the parents wanted to give up after just one night on the island is where one of my biggest disappointments comes into view, and I'm sure you'll all agree with me on this one. This episode was only about 10 minutes, and everything came off as very rushed. The build to the main conflict of the story felt like it happened way too fast, but that's what happens when you're not given enough time to flesh out a story with untapped potential. There were a lot of different things happening to the characters, and there wasn't enough time to explore what each character wanted to do or was going through on the island. For example, Lincoln had a mini subplot where he and Lucy were trying to find the lake monster Plessy, the obvious Loch Ness Monster reference, and it never really went anywhere. He completely missed his chance on seeing it at the end, and yet I believe Plessy could have played a bigger role in helping the family get back to Royal Woods. There could have also been a few more moments where living on the island would put everyone and their collective stability to the test. Maybe even pose a few more threats, like Lola sinking in quicksand and Lenny using the belt she made earlier to pull her out. I always imagine a scenario where the family missed the Coast Guard, cut to a commercial, and then come back with an on-screen time card showing how much time had passed, with everyone beginning to change in both appearance and behavior, and possibly even going crazy. I don't mean to make it sound all dark and gloomy, but you have to admit, making this episode into a 22-minute special would have provided both a better tone for the plot and some character development to show how the family had been coping since being forced to live on an island without modern conveniences. Even the season 1 episode Roughing It showed how Lincoln was able to survive the wilderness thanks to what he learned from his sisters. If he could make it work for one night in the woods, who's to say he and his family couldn't make it work for a month or two on an island with fresh fruit and water? Sure, they'd have to fight off the animals to stay alive and try to avoid tidal waves from sucking them under the water, but no adventure is too big or too small for this family, am I right? I'm right. Overall, I really liked this episode, and it handled the uninhabited island plot very well. Besides my obvious complaints about Flip, the real downer of the episode was the pacing. It seemed like the writers had to cram a lot of good things into the story, and because of the time constraints, they couldn't expand upon those things. They missed the opportunity to thoroughly develop the characters as they tried to adapt to the new living arrangements, as well as trying to make good use of something like Lincoln's little Plessy subplot. Maybe the limited amount of time is the reason why the family adventure only lasted a day rather than having it last a lot longer, but I can't say the end product is very underwhelming. Maybe to a degree it is, but not so much in a negative way. No matter what, the Louds would have still lived up to how no one in their family quits, and they would have gotten home regardless. With that said, I give Washed Up an 8 out of 10. Well folks, that concludes my review of Washed Up. This wasn't my favorite Loud House family adventure, but their ordeal got me thinking. Can you imagine if Lori went more than a day without talking to her beloved Boo Boo Bear on her phone? Forget Rita lamenting about a lack of coffee and toilet paper. Lori learning to live without her phone would be an even scarier adventure. Wait, hold on. They already did a plot like that. I'm thinking of Antisocial again. Yeah, we already had that episode. Never mind. So anyway, as far as this episode goes, what did you guys think of it? Love it? Hate it? Something you would add? Change? Keep it as it is? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe to this channel for the latest Loud House content. That's going to do it for me. I'll catch you guys for the next video, but until then, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, signing off. Peace out, home slices.